Hi guys, this is Chloe and welcome back to my channel. But today I'm going to talk about how I got diagnosed with PTSD.
Pause. Now, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am no doctors, meaning that this is just my advice and it is not medical advice. So, with that disclaimer, onto the video.
And I'm just going to cut to the chase and get straight to the video. So, I had always suspected that I had PTSD from everything I've been through spina bifida related. And therefore, I chose to self-diagnose myself with PTSD. Ever since my 7th grade year, I've been seeing the same psychiatrist for my ADHD, and he later diagnosed me with generalized anxiety disorder in my 12th grade year. With the psychiatrist, I've been seeing him for well over a decade, so he knows me at this point. Also, ever since 2 years ago, I had been seeing a licensed professional counselor that's specifically trained to work with autistic individuals. And that same counselor also runs a day program that I do. And you may be thinking, Chloe, you're talking about spina bifida. Why does autism got to be thrown in the mix? Glad you asked. So on top of having spina bifida, I'm also autistic because there is a link between both spina bifida and autism. Back in 2021, I gained medical records from my pediatrician, and in there was a letter from a psychologist I saw in my 3rd grade year. And in that letter, she stated that I exhibited numerous fears. And she originally wanted to give me an OCD diagnosis. However, I didn't meet all the requirements for it because back then you had to meet all the requirements in order to obtain a diagnosis. Whereas we now know that that's not true anymore because disabilities are on a spectrum. And because I didn't meet all the requirements, her diagnosis was specific phobia disorder. And I got to thinking, that's not right. So I decided to seek out a diagnosis. So I decided to talk to my psychiatrist about it because he's known me for a lot longer than the counselor has. And also at the time, my counselor was out of the country and would have continued to be out of the country for a month. However, I knew I couldn't just flat out tell my psychiatrist that I had PTSD. So what I did was I went on Cleveland Clinic and Mayo Clinic's websites, which I will link the articles I used in the description, as well as provide a flow chart for how I went about this. And for each characteristic or symptom, I thought, do I exhibit this characteristic? No. Move on to the next one. Do I exhibit this characteristic? Yes? Okay. What clear-cut example can I give for this? And then I spoke to my psychiatrist, and he said that he had no doubt that I had PTSD, and generalized anxiety disorder and PTSD go hand in hand because PTSD is a type of anxiety disorder. And he wanted me to try a medicine for my PTSD. However, he wanted me to speak with my counselor first to absolutely be sure that I had it before we started the medication. So I'm not gonna lie, it took a little while to get in with my counselor after she got back, and she had no doubt that I had it either. So I went back to my psychiatrist, and I'm going to be starting a PTSD medication soon. Seeing a therapist or a psychiatrist is a great first step for anyone seeking a diagnosis, and self-diagnosis is also valid if you can't afford a diagnosis. And there is no shame in having a diagnosis. It actually felt like a relief to me once I got the diagnosis. So, and also on top of that, I'm seeking proper help, and I'm also, continuing to talk to my counselor about all this. And I feel like there's always this shame or this stigma that comes around mental health, and therefore mental health isn't talked about nearly as much. But we need to talk about it because it's okay not to be okay. And also, whether you're disabled, and especially parents of disabled individuals, you guys did nothing wrong to get this PTSD diagnosis. A lot of people with chronic illnesses get this diagnosis because of everything that they've had to go through. You did nothing wrong, and there's nothing that y'all could have done differently It's just that stuff like this just kind of happens. And that's it. I thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Bye.